You know those students who absolutely kill it in class. Every day they've got the answers. They're on fire, but then exam day hits. Their mind goes completely blank. Ever wonder why? Here's the thing. It's not about what they know. It's about how they handle pressure. The information's all there. But when the stakes get high, they can't access it. It's crisis management. Can you pull it out when you need it most? And that's exactly what Dr. Maxwell Maltz discovered in Psycho-Cybernetics. Maltz was a plastic surgeon. He'd give people new faces. Complete transformations, but he noticed something strange. Some patients couldn't recover even after perfect surgery. Why? It had damaged their self-image. And he realized self-image controls everything. Whether you freeze up or rise to the occasion. Those students blanking on exams? Not a knowledge problem. It's a self-image problem, so how do you reprogram your internal system? Here's the kicker. Most of us have no idea how powerful we actually are. What did people tell you growing up? Those voices are still running the show, the real you got buried in all that noise. You're living with someone else's operating system. So how do you take back control? Maltz found the answer: nothing succeeds like success. Your brain can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined. Feed it success. It wants more. Your own mind fights back. Because you trained it to remember failure. Not success. You built the cage yourself. We condition ourselves to expect less. Settle for less. Become less. Society sets the standards. And we measure our worth against them. Without even realizing it. But here's the truth. Beauty isn't skin deep. Focus on what actually matters. Some ideas change your entire life. Maltz talks about patterns while developing a habit as they're just reactions from lifelong training. You can consciously change just one habit in 21 days. Practice them consciously for 21 days. A new habit forms. This is how you experience change. Your brain will actually start rewiring itself. The old pattern begins to fade. A new one starts taking root. One habit. 21 days. That's your entry point to real change. Think about getting a gift when it's all wrapped up tight, and you don't know what's inside. The thrill hits you, the excitement builds, and you start imagining what could be waiting for you. That's the power of imagination at work. Now use it on yourself. Keep imagining yourself successful. When you're designing something that's never existed before, you start with imagination. You create it in your mind first, build mental images, then put those images into prototype. That if the prototype works, you create the actual product. Think about the Wright brothers imagining human flight when everyone said it was impossible. They saw it in their minds first, sketched it out, built models, failed dozens of times, and kept refining until that first plane lifted off the ground. Something real. That's the power of turning imagination into reality. This is how we humans improve our race. We don't just survive. We evolve, we imagine better, then we build better, one breakthrough at a time. But people try to drag us down in the real world. A lot of people try to sell us short, thinking they're superior to us. But here's the truth. There's nothing like a superiority complex, because people who act superior are actually suffering from feelings of inferiority. Their superior self is fiction, a cover-up to hide from themselves and others the deep-down feelings of inferiority and insecurity. So stop letting them define you. Keep aside 5 minutes to see your best self, to feel that power, to remember who you really are. I do agree stress hits us every single day, many other things. We literally want to solve all our problems with our conscious mind. Try giving up that feeling of total responsibility. Let go of the hold, loosen your reins. It means relax. You don't have to control everything, you don't have to fix everything, and you don't have to carry it all alone. Just breathe and let some of it go. And here's what happens when you do. You may have experienced that ideas don't come when you want them immediately, but they hit you out of the blue when you weren't even thinking about them. What does that mean? When we put our brain to rest, ideas generate on their own. Think about Archimedes discovering the principle of buoyancy while relaxing in a bathtub, not while hunched over his desk trying to solve it. Stop forcing it and let your mind create when you're not watching. Think about something unpleasant, a smell, a taste, and notice how your senses react. Why not use this for good instead? When we think of pleasant things, our memory actually improves. But here's the problem: people don't live, they just hope to live, attaching happiness to materialistic pleasures. That new phone, that new car, the thrill fades. It always does. Happiness should be internal, a habit you train your mind to cultivate. Stop feeding your mind negativity. Reach your goal, but be happy in the journey. Develop an aggressive attitude towards your goal, not towards yourself. Attack the challenge, not your confidence. Deal with problems by taking action instead of sulking. It's about selection, attention, and decision. What you focus on, where you direct your attention, the choices you make, that shapes everything. Choose the goal. Focus on the process. Decide to act. First step, the moment any feeling of uselessness creeps in, shut it down immediately. A man is like a bicycle, you only stay balanced while moving forward. Stand still and you fall, when you mess up. Acknowledge it, correct it, keep moving. Remember your wins. You're evolving. Stop obsessing over every little thing to be so perfect and focus on what moves you forward instead of your flaws. That's where real progress happens. You wake up. Your phone buzzes. And before you even sit up, you've already checked it. Someone said something. Your email pings. Your heart rate goes up. Sound familiar? That feeling. Think about it. Why does it happen? Because you trained yourself to treat every notification like an emergency, most of it. Not urgent. Not important. Just loud. There's this idea in the book given by Maltz. He calls them DIY tranquilizers. Not the kind you swallow. But the kind you build inside yourself. Build a room in your head where you disappear for a few minutes, similar to meditation, and make it a practice, the peaceful space in your head. The same arguments replaying in your head. The things you can't control but keep trying to. Over-responding is a bad habit. A habit, and you can change it. You step into that room, and for just a moment, you let them all stay outside. They'll still be there when you come back. But right now, you breathe. You don't need the world to quiet down. Stop jumping every time it makes a noise. The world isn't going to calm down. Your boss won't stop emailing. So what do? You can't change them. If you can be conditioned into that, you can condition yourself out of it. So disappear to your mental room or delay it. Don't fall in the loop, interrupt the loop of stimulus. Response. Repeat. In this loop somewhere we realize most of it wasn't that urgent after all, most of it could wait. Most of it should have waited. Please watch our video 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where Stephen explains discriminating between important urgent events. Reacting is automatic. Responding is intentional. Sometimes the volcano doesn't need to erupt. It just needs to cool down. And sleep is how you let it. Or take a vacation as an escapism. You're running from the problem, not solving it. And when you come back you may gain perspective. Because when you're in the middle of a problem, when you're drowning in it, you can't think clearly. But when you step away, things shift. You see solutions you couldn't see before. You see what actually matters. Remember when you learned to speak? You didn't get every word right. You mispronounced things. You made mistakes. But did you stop? No. You kept going. That's how learning works. Through mistakes. Through trying. Not through perfection. But somewhere along the way, we forget that. We become too careful. Too worried about getting it wrong. And that excessive carefulness, it doesn't help you. It leads to inhibition. To anxiety. You freeze before you even start because you're so terrified of messing up. Think about a kid learning to ride a bike. They fall. They get up. Because they don't care that much about falling. They care about riding. It worked then. It'll work now. So keep learning. Before reacting to criticism or negativity at all the noise people throw at you, ask yourself, does responding move me closer to my goal? Does carrying this emotion help me? If not, why hold on to it? Negative feedback can be valuable, if it's constructive, honest, and reveals blind spots. Accept it, learn from it, and take action. But if it's just noise from someone trying to pull you down, reject it and move forward. You don't owe anyone your peace or space in your mind. That mental space is sacred. Every time you let someone's anger or chaos in uninvited, you're giving away your power. Here's what most people miss: when you're angry, you lose your senses. Your skills fail you. Your ability to think clearly vanishes. Why? Because you reacted instead of responded. Reaction robs you of control. When you react emotionally, you're letting others control how you feel, think, and move through the world. And for what? To prove a point? Win a meaningless argument? The truth is most battles aren't worth fighting. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you find peace. Use negative feedback to correct errors and move forward, not to destroy yourself. Learn from it, then let it go. Don't waste energy on battles that don't matter or let someone's insecurity become your problem. Some comments deserve responses. Most don't. Knowing the difference is power. Learning any skill involves trial and error. Keep going. Eventually, successes outnumber failures, and your brain remembers what success feels like and how to repeat it. Learn from success, don't repeat failure. Move forward. Unbothered. Unshaken. Free. Here's the truth, you don't need to take on every pressure thrown at you. Instead, learn a new habit, find a new way to look at problems. Pilots spend hours in simulators. Not just to learn moves, but to execute them under pressure. The problem is that most of us don't train for pressure. We hope we'll handle it when it comes, thinking we'll figure it out in the moment. Sometimes we do. But often we freeze, panic, and react. All those skills we thought we had disappear. You need certain skills to deal with crisis, but they won't magically appear. Practice without pressure before crisis hits. When it comes, you won't have time to figure it out, only to execute what you've already trained yourself to do. If you've trained yourself to freeze or panic, that's what happens. But if you've trained yourself to breathe, think, and move with intention, that's what you'll do. When crisis hits, most people go defensive, protecting themselves, minimizing damage, retreating. That's not surviving, that's getting swallowed. Be aggressive. Move forward. Take control. Don't wait for problems to solve themselves, solve them. Think about firefighters running into burning buildings. That's aggressive, not defensive. They're not standing outside hoping the fire goes out. They're going in, taking action. But they're not panicking, they're calm, trained, and know what to do. That's the energy you need, forward, focused, in control. Boxers shadowbox before fights, throwing punches at nothing, practicing against absent opponents. When the real fight comes, they don't freeze. They just move. Practice the pressure before it arrives. Crisis doesn't weaken you, it brings power if you fearlessly accept the challenge and confidently expend your strength. Start now. Picture moments that scare you. Instead of pushing them away, step into them. Practice staying calm in your mind. Once you practice enough, it becomes automatic. Your default. Things go wrong. People disappoint. Plans collapse. Your instinct is to protect and defend. But do the opposite, stay aggressive, stay focused. Keep your eyes on your goal, not on what's stopping you. Don't let pressure rob you of what you know. Don't react, respond with clarity, intention, and control. That's how you make it through stronger. Stop treating every error like a disaster. That's not failure. That's learning. Something that most people get wrong is they think rational thought alone can change them. That if they just understand something logically, they'll change its behavior. You can tell yourself 100 times, I can do this. But if you don't feel it, if there's no emotion behind it, it's just words. Empty. Powerless. You need to picture yourself succeeding. Feel the possibility. Make the idea come alive in your mind until it feels almost real. Now, rational thought still matters. Use it to examine. To analyze. To figure out what went wrong and what needs to change. But don't stop there. Don't let logic be the only tool you use. And here's the thing. Just because you failed in the past doesn't mean you'll fail in the future. Maybe you just need a different method. A different approach. A different way of thinking about it. It's feedback. So take what you've learned, feel what you want, and try again. Differently this time. Because change doesn't happen in your head alone. It happens when your heart believes it too. Most of us focus on what we don't want instead of what we want. Sounds obvious, right? We spend too much time worrying about failure. And where does that get you? Stuck. Instead, select your goal and concentrate on achieving it. Put your energy there. Not on the fear, obstacles. On the goal itself. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. Distractions will show up. Problems will try to pull you off course. And if you stop every time something goes wrong, you'll never finish anything. When you decide what matters and commit to it fully, the noise doesn't disappear. But it stops controlling you. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop letting every problem become a crisis. You just keep moving. One step at a time. Toward the goal, so ask yourself. What do you actually want? And are you focusing on that? In any situation, you have two choices. Either you're capable of doing it or you're trying your best. Or you decide you shouldn't even try and that you can't do it, you suffer because you won't proceed. It'll keep you stuck forever. Here's where we get into trouble. You're supposed to think about your actions, your strategy, and your effort. But not obsess over the outcome. Keep your eye on your goal. Do your work. And leave the results to take care of themselves. Because when you're constantly worrying about whether you'll succeed, whether it'll work out, whether you're good enough, you're thinking about things you can't control. That stops you from actually doing the work. Instead, focus on what you can control. Your effort. Your strategy. Your willingness to learn. Here's the secret most people miss. Gradualness. You don't build strength overnight. You gradually increase your power. That's how real growth happens. Not in giant leaps. In small, consistent steps. Now, if you experience negative feelings, fear, anxiety before an important undertaking, it should not be taken as a sure sign that you will fail. It's just nerves. It's just your body preparing. Just acknowledge it and move forward. And here's the biggest mistake people make. They stop and overestimate and exaggerate the nature of the difficulty before them. They turn a challenge into a monster. Don't solve problems that don't exist yet. Don't catastrophize before you even know what you're dealing with. Don't blow it out of proportion. The thing isn't as hard as you think most of the time. So stop exaggerating. Just take the first small step. Then the next. Gradually. Because that's how you win. But by moving forward, bit by bit, until you've done it. Try feeling successful and self-confident instead. Real feeling. The kind that comes when you imagine yourself succeeding. That's the winning feeling, same as the hypnotist just lies about your power, you believe it. So give it the right image. The right emotion. The winning feeling. Because when you do, when you've already felt it in your mind, your body knows what to do. And you don't have to hope you'll succeed. You already know how it feels. You've already been there. Now you just have to do it for real. Now, feelings can't be directly controlled, just shifted to positivity. And sometimes, it's the smallest things that make the biggest difference. Carry something that makes you feel strong. Wear something that makes you feel confident. A lucky charm. A favorite color. Something that reminds you of who you are when you're at your best. It sounds simple. Maybe even silly. But it works. Because feelings follow focus. And when you shift your focus, when you give yourself a physical reminder of strength, your emotions start to follow. Not instantly. But gradually. So choose wisely. Choose positivity. Choose strength. And watch how everything changes. This is just a small part of the book. The full book contains more exercises, examples. If you felt connected to this video, please do read the book, and don't forget to check out my video on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Please, subscribe for more content like this.